about. The members of the Executive Committee of Lagos and USA chapters will officially sworn in after their elections. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm presenting the Finance and Audit Cluster report. The absence of the financial sector affected the deliverables of our cluster, but we were still able to achieve a lot despite this. Preparation of SOP for Finance Cluster, which includes protocol for disbursement of funds. Our savings account was resuscitated and is being used for the convention fund raising. Signatories to the national account at First Bank of Nigeria PLC were successfully changed. An email was created which is dedicated to enabling receipt of statements of account for National Bank accounts online. Annual financial reports prepared and published in the brochure. And finally, a budget was prepared for the convention and approved by the BOT. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my co-travelers. Now it is time for questions, answers, comments. There is supposed to be a microphone in the middle here. Please, where is that microphone?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Your name and your class set and chapter.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mary Odebumi, 1997 set of Alamisa. I want to quickly, I want to give a testimony before I proceed to what I want to say. I'm a teacher by profession, and I happen to be one of the sports masters in my school. I work in a private school. When my school had a basketball court, I was one of the basketball teacher, instructor, training those kids. And when swimming pool came to my school, I was also one of the swimming pool instructor. I learned swimming at the Little River in our area at Ibadan here. Basketball, I happen to be one of the product of Our Lady of Apostle products. And yesterday, on our platform, I saw grasses posted on the platform, no more basketball, no handball, no volleyball. I was crying. Please, could anything be done to revive all these things, please, ma'am? That is what I want to say.
Thank you very much. And I think that is a very important point. When the chairman of the Board of Trustees came here, she said that some of the things they enjoyed in that, I think they are set up, look at them now. Some of the things, all these old people, I'm not, they are set up. They are my brothers, don't look at me, I see from there. Look at them. Some of the things they enjoyed, mindset enjoyed. And it pays us so much to see the field the way it is today. But let me say this. Olamios and members, you have done very well. And I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. That field should not be the way it is. If you look at one of the things we mentioned here, Olamios, you bought 2 lawnmowers for the school. All they need to do is to maintain the lawnmowers. But when they want to use the lawnmower, they'll say there's no money for petrol, Olamios should bring 7,000 naira. The lawnmower has fault. They need 15 naira. Olamios should bring it. Okay, the lawnmower will repair it. Who's going to use it? You should go and get that. told they need money to sharpen the cutlass. How much do they sharpen one cutlass? They said 100 naira. Olami Osashi bring it. It was at that stage. If some of you have been at the emergency meeting before, I will say enough is enough. Olami Osashi, how many of you have your children in the school? How many of you have your grandchildren in the school? Why are parents not taking responsibility? Just as your parents took responsibility for your future. We then called a meeting. The meeting of the PTA which we held about a month ago would not have been held. But for the fact that I went to see the Tutor General of Oyo State and said we've been asking for a PTA meeting in this school for 2 years to keep posting us. She commanded them to hold a PTA meeting. Some of us here, Phillips came all the way from Lagos to attend the PTA meeting. And we told the parents, it is not our responsibility. We donate this thing from our hard-earned money and to maintain it. The governor of Oyo State keeps telling you not to pay a dime. But in 1 year, they gave the school 200,000 naira. Where is that expected to take them? And if you are listening to the governor, I said it. If the governor is here, I will say it in his presence. Are his children going to schools that are not paying, that are not paying in America? No. All our governors who said parents should not be responsible for the future of their children, they send their children abroad. They send their children to free paying school. And you sit here and you are listening to them, you cannot contribute 1,000 naira per month for your children. Shame on you. And we called them. And the decision was reached. Every time we wanted them to pay 5,000 naira per time, they said it was too expensive. We said 3,000, they said it was too expensive. At the end of the day, they said they want to pay 2,000 naira per time. 6,000 in 1 year. And a man got up and said, our children are not doing well in school. What can you do as a landlord? I said, nothing. How many books have you bought for your children? How many exercise books have you bought for your children? You are expecting Governor Makinde to come and buy textbooks for your children, and you are saying your children will do well in school. They will not do well. Because they will not buy those books for them. Because it is all about politics. You are playing politics with the future of your children, and you are coming here and telling us to take responsibility for the future of your children. We refuse to continue. So, if the field is that way, hold the PTA responsible. Next question.
Good afternoon, my brothers and my sisters. My name is Dr. Abosede Shaka, 8085 cents. When the parents ask whether we can help them.
Can you move closer to the microphone?
Okay. There's this school, Bishop Philip Academy. That's the secondary school that Governor Seyi Makinde attended. I have a girl that stays with me, she's attending the school. They organize lesson for them, she's in SS3. She attends the lesson every day of the week and on Saturday too. And they say it's the first student that did it, not the school. And they not tell us to pay anything. So I don't know how they were able to do it.
I will tell you how. Everybody tell you that it is the old students who did it. The PTA contributed 5,000 naira each. Because we did it
to me. And I did not pay any cover.
But I can tell you that we cannot afford to do it. We have 1,700 students in the school. We cannot afford it. You see, there's something I say about parenting. Parenting begins from home. If we refuse to take responsibility for our children, maybe the old students of Bishop Phillips Academy are very rich, they are very wealthy. That is how they can afford it, because the teachers for those lessons are paid even more than the teachers in the school. Olami Osa cannot
mothers here. Good day, ma. All the Olamiosa members, good day. Ojú yìí lọ, àádẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ yìí lọ lọ́jọ́ iwájú. Olúwa ló ti wà á níbẹ̀ ní o. I want to mind is on the lighter mood, and you will laugh what I want to say. I just like to do it. We are not Olamiosa. We are either of these two pronunciations. It's either Olamiosa, which means my wealth is not fading, or we are Olamiosa, my wealth is not running away from me. So it's either of the two, not Olamiosa. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
We are going to take a vote. Our elder has called us to question. So we are going to take a vote. She said we have one of two choices. And I recall one of the men who gave us money. Chief Jide Olatunde Agbeja. He made a contribution of 250,000 naira to this event. And when he was going to reply me, he said to me, Olamiosa, Olamiosa. And that was the first time it occurred to me that perhaps that is what we should be calling our association. But our mother has given us Olamiosa, our wealth is not running away. Or Olamiosa, our wealth is not fading. So we are going to put it to the vote. I will say the first one. All those in favor, stand up. Please, this is 97 cents.
One house, one house.
One house. So the first option is this. Olamiosa. All those in favor, stand up.
Olamiosa, my wealth is not running away. Please stand up.
The second option, thank you very much. The second option is Olamiosa, our wealth is not failing, which is all those in favor, please stand up.
If you are in favor of the second option, please stand up.
Please stand up if you are in favor. Olamiosa. Olamiosa.
Please rise.
Can we all sit down? Thank you very much. So the person going to break the tie is the chairman of the BOT. She's going to tell us which one because, as I said, this is her meeting. She's the convener and she's the one going to break the tie. Over to you, ma'am.
Distinguished Queen, maybe we need to actually speak over this and not take a decision in a hurry. Because there are not many of them,
for the benefit of the Ogun State people who are not talking and not who are talking and not listening. Ogun State, sit down. Ogun chapter. Ogun State chapter. State chapter, please sit down. The decision of the chairman of the Board of Trustees and the convener of this meeting is that we all sleep over it. And I can promise you, weeks, we are going to take a poll on the national platform. But a point was made that if you have Olamiosa, where do you put the H in it? So we will do a poll and the final decision will be taken by poll. Next question, please.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone present here. My main question is, Okay, my name is Mrs. Olanike Omosoya from United Kingdom, 1979 to 1984 set. My question here is, I really want to appreciate and ask gently and mildly why we are being referred to as queens instead of our ladies. The name of our school has given us a title. We have Queen School. So I'm of the opinion that Queen's School students should be called queens, while we, Our Lady of Apostle, should be referred to as our ladies.
And I will answer that very quickly. If you know the history of our school, we are Queen of Apostles. And that is the genesis of our school. So, you see, there are things that we should have brought up early. By now, everybody knows us as queens. We can't go back and say our lady. So let us maintain that status quo for now. Remembering that when that school started, it started as Queen of Apostles. Next question, please.
Good afternoon. Our mother,
Next question.
our grandmother, our great-grandmothers, we appreciate you. You are a source of inspiration to us. Permit me to start on the assistant protocol, and also permit me to go back to this Olabiosa and Olabiosa variation. While we are sleeping on it, while we want to deliberate on it, I would like to remind us that Olabiosa is an abbreviation, and the S actually stands for students. That's Our Lady of Apostles, Mary Way, Ibadan Association. So that S has a meaning. It stands for students. So that's why the pronunciation is an S and not a she. So
Thank you very much. Point noted. And we will take, you can make that point on the national platform when the poll is about to begin.
Of this administration, we called for amendments, comments, and suggestions. And a lot of our members sent in their comments and suggestions, which we ruminated on, and we came up with these points of amendment. We are starting first with the office with clause 74 of the bylaws on National Executive Council. The current position there is that we will have president by rotation and vice president from Lagos, Abeokuta, Ibadan, vice president from anywhere, and so on and so on. But now, the proposed amendment is that geographical allocation of NEC positions has not been implemented because as we have it today, it has not reflected this. So there is no basis for it except for the position of second vice president, which our recommendation should be for a member for that position to come from the diaspora. Second vice president to come from the diaspora. So all other members come from anywhere, especially the office of the president must come from Nigeria, because the president must be on ground to do the needful at all times. So that's the first amendment. The second one is the office of the General Secretary. It suggested that the fuller details be given of responsibilities of the General Secretary. And the proposed amendments are to convene all executive and general meetings as well. One house, please, one house. Convene all executive and general meetings as well as emergency meetings at the request of the President, the executive or general meetings. The second proposed amendment is to keep records and minutes of the executive, general, and emergency meetings and send out circulars to members. Assistant General Secretary. The current position, having put the bylaws in operation in the last 2 years, the proposed additions to the role of the Assistant General Secretary is what in the bylaws. Secondly, the position of documentation officer has been scrapped as we found it not necessary. Current clauses retained. Proposal is to add these additional clauses, which is that is the proposed amendment. The first one, classify, collect, catalog, and store information and documents for easy access and retrieval. Create, maintain an archiving system. Third, outline a long-term storage strategy. Four, work with NEC to ensure consistency of documentation practice across all NEC clusters. Control. If you look at them, I know that you can see from here, work with NEC to ensure consistency of documentation practice across all NEC clusters, control access to all administrative documents, migrate to storage software and applications for electronic filing, sign information, and documents. Office of Treasurer. Having put the bylaws in operation in the last 2 years, the proposed addition to the role of the Treasurer is what is recommended for inclusion in the bylaws. So we have new clauses for amendments. You can read them because they are being circulated. Can we now get on with the business of the day? The time is running. Office of Treasurer, the proposed amendments are there. Especially in the absence of Financial Secretary, the Treasurer will carry out the duties and responsibilities of the Financial Secretary. The Financial Secretary ensure the main thrust of this is that the Financial Secretary ensure that the provisions of transition of Olamide Service state that 15% of the total sum of the nationalship fees collected by each chapter shall be paid into the National Bank specified for such manner. Office of the Legal Advisor. The proposed amendment for the Office of the Legal Advisor is there, unless otherwise determined, the chairman of any committee set up by the BOT and NEC for the revision of constitution of INOs of Olamide, and to ensure that the rule of law is followed in respect of any disciplinary action to be taken against any member of Olamide. The membership officers amendment, although the position is provided for, there are no terms of reference for the membership relations officer. Therefore, these are the proposed amendments which have been circulated for you to look at. National Welfare Officers. Having put bylaws in operation for 2 years, current clauses are retained, and the proposal is to add to have lead national welfare officers in coordinating programs of intake and approved for execution at state and diaspora levels. Monitor the execution, provide guidance when necessary, joint meetings, and agreement conveyed. Participate in NEC meetings quarterly, annually, and ensure national welfare to prayer course. And it goes on the second page. This is being circulated, you can read it off. Then we have created a position for the National Prayer Coordinator. As we speak, you will agree with me, it has been Dr. Rosetta Thompson that has been leading prayer coordination in that regard. Now we have created a position for National Prayer Coordinator. Election of NEC members. Election of NEC members. Our proposed amendment election of NEC members is that when you look at it, the former position is that the election shall be by show of hand ballot at the National Convention for a single term of 2 years. Now we say that the members of the National Executive Council shall be elected by a show of hand at the National Convention for a term of 2 years from the date of the election, renewable for another proposed amendment is that the next shall set up or approve the establishment of such professional chapters or full chapters as deemed necessary to criteria and guidelines contained in the schedule to the bylaws and the standard operating procedure of the membership relations cluster as amended from time to time. The proposed amendment for the source, there should be a creation of Olamiosa Fund. Creation of Olamiosa Fund. Then, group or self-sponsored projects must be maintained by the sponsors for at least 5 consecutive years before handing over to PRA, which shall draw maintenance fee from the Olamiosa Maintenance Fund. 10. The proposed amendment is just to insert the word external to auditor, which is now external auditor. These are the amendments, the proposed amendments that the legal cluster have set.
Distinguished queens of Olamiosa, this is a very, very important assignment. So I want everybody to please listen. I don't want to call that class again. Okay, by the powers conferred on me, I would like, before I dissolve this wonderful committee, I want to join the national president again. I want to say thank you for your commitment, your dedication, your hard work, put your mind into it, and for raising the bar and bringing up to where we are. Thank you so much for doing a wonderful job. You're all extremely intelligent, brilliant products of Olamiosa. I'm looking to ask for more. Under the supervision of our national president, Funmilayo Ajike Roberts. So I hereby dissolve this wonderful committee, and then we thank the Almighty for being able to do. Thank you so much. You want to take a bow? Thank you so much. Another bow? Thank you so much. Can we please give them a round of applause? Give them a standing ovation, please. Let's all stand up. Let's stand up and appreciate them. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Welcome. Thank you.
A round of applause, please.
Queen Funmi Roberts. The first Vice President, Queen Bridget Anomudu. Please come up and hear your name. Second Vice President, Queen Olushola Samuel. Here she is in the US. She's watching us now. The General Secretary, Queen Titilayo Ashiru. She's watching us online. Assistant General Secretary, Queen Jumoke Makinde. Queen Jumoke Makinde. Treasurer, Queen Pelumi Eluwole.